You live there, Leon? In Kington?
Born and bred. You?
Seattle.
Seattle?
Long way from Kington, no?
Oh, yeah, very long way.
You wouldn't happen to know where the Burton Hotel is, do you?
Yeah, of course. I can drop you off if you like.
Trudy.
Trudy.
You sure it's not out of your way?
Nope. Night like this. Can't have been much fun, hitchhiking.
Lucky you were passing.
Lucky there was a boiler needed repairing in Hereford.
Is that what you do?
Plumbing of any kind. You were visiting, Trudy? Friends and family?
Thanks again for picking me up back there, really.
Funny, isn't it? Us listening to Riders on the Storm in an actual storm. Not that you're a killer on the road, I don't suppose.
I'm more an actor out alone.
I'm sorry, I've got to pull over. I can't drive in this.
The rain in Seattle can be unbelievable, too.
Is that right?
This the kind of rain makes you feel there's nothing more to be said about anything. That it's just gonna wash everything away, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's gonna rain forever.
I think it's easing. So, if it's not friends and family...
It's research.
Research into what exactly, Trudy? Because I can always put you in touch with any number of local historians. And what they don't know about Kington isn't worth knowing, let me tell you. Do you want a cup of tea or coffee?
I didn't think you could get coffee in a library.
Oh, you can't as a rule, but we in the Historical Society have our own kettle. Our own kettle and our very own office. Have you connections with Kington? Family?
Oh, no. Oh, it's very nice, Molly, the office.
You think so? We find it a little bijou, but we struggle on with what we've got. Now, there's always Mrs. Howells who can explain the ins and outs of the medieval architecture, and I can give you a fairly brief rundown of the history of the town, the wool traders, the Civil War, the sheep trade, that kind of thing.
Actually, it's about this photograph.
Oh, my goodness, when was this taken?
Looks to me like some kind of festival.
It's the Kington Festival.
Does everyone dress up like this?
That's the tradition. Did you say tea or coffee?
Actually, I'm fine, really. Why are they all in wheelbarrows?
Tony Landers is the person to talk to. He's the festival organiser. All I know is there are, 10 teams. One person in the wheelbarrow and one behind pushing. Of course, they stop for a beer at every pub both ways. People tend to take their fun very seriously in this town.
Wow. And this happens every year.
Can't say it was ever something that appealed to me. I'm scholarly. Where on earth did you find this?
Amongst some stuff back home.
In Seattle?
Yeah.
Then there is a connection. A personal connection.
Morning to you, Molly.
Hello, Dougie.
Keeping well?
Oh, struggling on, you know. This is Trudy from Seattle.
Hello, Trudy from Seattle.
Hi.
I'll get that book back to you just as soon as...
No hurry, Dougie. You all right, Trudy?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Now, if you want, we have a meeting of the Historical Society this Thursday here in the library. That's 3 days hence. You'd be most welcome. We might even have a go at persuading you to tell us a thing or two about Seattle.
Who was that guy who just passed?
Dougie? Now, there's a local character. And he's not just a street cleaner, he's also the caretaker of the primary school.
Oh. Actually, Molly, I'm looking for a room.
To let?
Yeah.
Then you're going to be with us for a little while.
I'll be here for a month or so at least.
We're just up these stairs here.
Okay.
Mind your head on the beam. It's medieval. You okay?
Can't say it's not sturdy.
Right, now, it's not exactly the biggest room, I know, but it's bright. You get a good view of the high street, all the comings and goings.
I'll take it.
Aren't you looking at anywhere else?
Why would I do that?
Well, I don't know. I just assume... Anyway, great. Does it seem funny to you?
Funny.
The coincidence.
What coincidence?
Well, this. You and me. Small world, no?
Small towns, I guess.
So, when would you like to move in?
When's good?
Straight away, if you like.
Outstanding.
All right, then.
Are you sure you're okay about this, Leon?
Of course. Why wouldn't I be?
Only you seem a little edgy.
Well, I'm not. Not at all. It's just, well, you're an unusual presence.
An unusual presence?
In Kington.
What do you mean, unusual presence?
Well, obviously you're an American. Obviously. And then there's the orange hair, the clothes, the attitude.
The attitude?
You're just not the average... Look, I don't really know you, and I'm talking all at 6s and 7s here. Let's just say that you look like a rock star and leave it at that. You're not a rock star, are you?
No, Leon. I'm not a rock star, but I did work in a record store, and I've got to admit I'm flattered. So, I'm just taking a little time here to sort some stuff out.
Personal stuff.
Yes, personal stuff. Now, is that a problem?
Of course not, no. You know, you'd not be the first rock star in Kington, if you were a rock star, which you're not. We had Mike Oldfield living just outside of town. Tubular Bells? Not that he did that here. He did Hargest Ridge here. Do you know Hargest Ridge?
The place or the album?
Either. Both.
Nope.
Well, I'm glad we got that straight.
Tomorrow, Leon.
Tomorrow.
Morning, Dougie.
Oh, all right, Brian.
Cold this morning.
Cold enough for snow, I'd say.
And May in 2 weeks. Typical.
How's the car these days?
Chugging along. Hungry beast it is. Keep warm, won't you?
Right, yo. Thing I like about this town is it don't matter where you stand, you can never quite see what's coming around the corner. Isn't that right, miss?
Oh, excuse me?
Thought it might be you again.
I lost my watch. You haven't seen it, have you?
When'd you lose it?
Must have been sometime last night. I was passing and...
Oh, I see. That's irritating.
Yeah, it is. Really irritating.
And what were you looking for yesterday morning?
Excuse me?
When you were here, did you lose something yesterday?
I wasn't here yesterday.
Oh, my mistake then.
What are you trying to say?
Oh, I don't think I was trying to say anything. Still, it's a wee bit early, isn't it?
I don't follow.
For snooping about behind bins.
I'm not snooping about. Who says I'm snooping about?
I'm not accusing you of anything.
Well, it certainly sounds as if you are.
Well, I'm not.
Good. Good. Listen, I've gotta... go.
And on behalf of the Kington Historical Society, I'd just like to thank our guest Trudy Torrance again for that fascinating insight into Seattle life.
Anytime.
Now, if there are any questions?
Yeah, I've got a question.
Yes, Dougie.
It's more an observation, really.
Oh, yes?
Well, it's just that I wouldn't have thought Kington was the first place someone from as far away as Seattle would pick to come and live in. Unless they had ties to the area.
No. No ties.
So you just stuck a pin in a map or something?
Something like that.
Good for you.
Oh, while we've got you, Dougie, perhaps you'd like to say a few words about the festival, as I know it's something Trudy's mentioned to me as a subject of interest.
There's nothing to do with me these days.
In the past, then?
I was involved when old Mac Paisley used to run it. You remember Mac Paisley? He used to teach woodwork at Lady Hawkins.
Mac Paisley?
He used to stand in the school hall announcing what dinners we were going to have that day. Liver and bacon, shepherd's pie, all the crumbles. Rhubarb and apple.
Oh, my goodness, yes, Mac Paisley.
Mac the Bat, we used to call him, because he was always roaming about at night.
Doing what?
What Mac did. Seemed happy enough in himself, though.
Dougie, as you can doubtless see, is a font of local knowledge. Anything anyone wants to know about Kington, he's your man. Isn't that right, Dougie?
If you say so, Molly.
Well, if there are no more questions, perhaps we could all adjourn to the pub, where I'm sure Trudy will be happy to talk further.
In the kitchen.
You okay?
How'd it go?
Fine, I guess. Can I have a slice of that, please?
There's some wine here too, if you'd like it. It's Spanish.
Great. What?
What?
What are you looking at?
I'm not looking at anything.
No?
Of course not, no. Has something happened, Trudy?
No, nothing's happened.
You seem a bit upset.
I'd just like to eat this. What's that?
Ah, it's your watch.
I don't have it.
Donald dropped it in about half an hour ago.
Donald?
Dougie, but tonight he's Donald.
What do you mean tonight he's Donald?
Well, it all depends on who you speak to. To most of us, he's Dougie, and to some of us, he's Donald.
We're talking about the street cleaner, right?
There's only one Dougie.
Are you saying he was actually here, in this house?
For about 20 seconds, yeah.
For God's sake, Leon!
What on earth's got into you?
Did he say anything?
Only that he brought back the watch you lost.
And that's it?
That's it.
Do you know where this Dougie lives?
Yeah? Why?
'Cause I think I'd like to go round there right now.
To his house?
Yes, to his house.
Because he dropped off a watch you said you'd lost. Are you crazy?
I'm sorry, Leon. You're right. You're right.
Look, why don't you come and sit down and tell me what's going on? Okay?
Okay. Dougie was at the talk tonight and he asked me some questions.
What kind of questions?
Just normal questions.
And that's what's got you all wound up?
To tell you the truth, I don't know what's what anymore.
Well, I'm here if you want to talk about it. Or we can just sit here, drink some wine, watch TV, whatever you'd like. Would you like that?
I'd like a hug. Thanks, Leon. Honestly, thanks for everything.
You can talk to me about anything, Trudy. Whenever you like.
Really?
Really. Maybe this isn't such a good idea.
Maybe. Dougie,
Oh. Hello there again.
thanks for dropping off the watch last night.
Oh, no problem. Enjoyed the talk.
I'm glad.
Different pace of life, I'd imagine, from Seattle, here in Kington.
I didn't lose a watch.
You didn't?
No.
So, whose is this?
I've no idea.
Oh. Well, best have it back then.
The thing is, I didn't actually anticipate on you finding a watch that you'd assume was, well, that you'd think was... Are you always up this early?
Are you?
I wondered if we could talk, Dougie. It's kind of...
Yeah.
It's about this. That's you, isn't it? In the photo. Pushing the wheelbarrow.
Crikey. Where'd you get this?
Then it is.
Oh, that's me, all right.
And the man in the wheelbarrow? The man in drag?
Made a lovely Anita Ekberg, don't you think? Mal always had a bit of a thing for her. Her and Claudia Cardinali.
Mal?
Mal Morgan. Well, more than a bit of a thing. She was so very lovely, weren't she? Anita, not Mal. Danced in a fountain. You ever seen La Dolce Vita?
Can't say I have.
Well, that's a pleasure you shouldn't deny yourself. Don't you like Italian cinema?
Can't say I'm overly acquainted with it.
Are you not? Well, the festival's theme that year was the big screen.
What year was that?
77.
77.
Most people came as Clint Eastwood. Pawn shows and cigars and whatnot. We had a couple of James Bonds and one Ursula Andress, which was not pretty. But me and Malcolm decided we'd race as Mastroianni and Ekberg. We considered it our homage.
In a wheelbarrow.
Oh, we started right here, in fact, just at the top of the Ice Street. All these people were milling about getting ready for the off. There were the Brandon twins, Mark and Miles, and they'd come as James Bond and Ursula Andress, and they were whistling and shouting and saying how they were going to beat us all hands down, no problem. And there was Tammy and Henry Winston, who'd come as Bonnie and Clyde, I don't know how many others, and suddenly there's a silence. Everyone draws breath, and old Mac the Bat Paisley counts us down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they're off!
You never saw anything like it. We were weaving, we were shouting, we were drinking. Man alive, we were drinking. And the crowd was shouting and laughing. And Mal kept waving at all the girls. Oh, he had a lot of girls after him, did our Mal. Can't say the same for me, of course. And these girls were blowing kisses, and one or two were throwing roses. Don't know where they got them roses from. And we were neck and neck with the Brandon twins. Neck and neck. And then inching ahead, when suddenly the wheel on our barrow comes loose, right at the final push. And there we are, me and Mal, flying head first into the street, beer everywhere, broken glass. Mal said it was the Brandon twins had sabotaged it, but nothing, I'm sad to say, was ever proved. And then, later that evening, everyone danced under those stars. Whole town, it seemed. And it was strange.
Strange?
Like we'd lost something we'd never owned. Bit like that watch of yours. We all felt it. Me especially, but I'm funny like that. Feelings. Beautiful dreamer, they used to call me. Anyway, that's the way that festival day ended. With all of us dancing. A week or so later, Mal was gone. Never to be seen again.
Where'd he go?
I'm the foggiest.
He didn't say anything to you?
Just up and left. And that was the end of that. Would you mind if I took a copy?
Oh, no.
I'll be sure and get it back to you.
So you really don't know what happened to Mal?
I asked around, of course, but he just disappeared. It's hard for a person to just disappear. Well, I suppose that's what he must have wanted. You have his eyes, you know.
What?
You are related to him, aren't you? I thought it yesterday at the talk, but... Anyway.
I've just got to...
You're right, miss.
Sorry again about the watch.
Trudy, I thought that was you.
Oh, hi, Molly.
Everybody so enjoyed your talk last night. They really did.
A pleasure, really.
All right, dear.
Just can't figure out who's buying and who's selling here.
Oh, the chaps squished up in the front of the pens there are buying for the local abattoirs. There's been a market here for, 1,000 years? I always feel it's very theatrical. The auctioneer up on those planks there, the bids.
Mal Morgan.
Sorry?
In the photograph I showed you, the man in the wheelbarrow was Mal Morgan. And the other guy, the one pushing, was Dougie.
Our Dougie?
The one and only.
Mal Morgan. Now, there's a blast from the past. Are you sure it was them?
Did you know Mal?
Not personally. He was a wee bit younger than me. I know he used to ride his pony to school.
His what?
Rode it down from his farm. Moon Farm. Lovely name, that. Mysterious, I always felt. Granada Television came and made a little film about it. That must have been, late 50s? Mal Morgan. There was some trouble he had. I do vaguely remember hearing something about that. But then he must have moved away. I was in London working, teaching. Dougie would know more, I'm sure.
Dougie knows everything, right?
Has Dougie said something to upset you? Why don't we go and get some lunch, Trudy?
Dougie.
Oh, hello again. Here's your photo back.
Thanks. These are for you. You do like chocolates, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to make up for running out on you this morning. It was pretty dumb of me.
I'm just sorry if I upset you.
Jeez, you must think me completely crazy. The bins, the watch, crazy.
I sorted the watch out. It belonged to Rita Holt. She works in the tattoo parlour. Have you seen the tattoo parlour? People come from all over. I never had tattoos myself, but my dad had tattoos from his time in Korea. Do you have tattoos?
No, No, I don't. Anyway, look, I just wanted you to know that it's not me. Well, not usually. Spying.
I'm glad we got that cleared up. So, what is it, usually?
He died 3 months ago.
He did.
My dad, Malcolm Morgan.
Huh.
Pneumonia.
Oh, right.
I guess it's all been a bit confusing. Confusing for me, coming here, and anyway...
What is it that you think I can do for you?
I don't know. Tell me about him, maybe.
Tell you what about him?
Well, what he was doing in a dress, for one thing. Because the Malcolm Morgan I knew would never, and I mean never, have been seen dead in women's clothes. Not even on Halloween.
He had a family then.
Just me and Mom. Her name's Lois. Lois Torrance.
Lois Torrance. And he really never said anything about his life here. Nothing at all.
It wasn't until we were going through his old stuff that we came across that picture of him in the dress and the wig, and I got the crazy idea of coming out here, finding out what I could. Molly said something about trouble. What trouble was that?
You talked to Molly.
She's been very kind.
Moon Farm's lovely at dusk. Worth seeing, definitely. We could go,
Now?
if you'd like.
Are you sure this is okay?
Why wouldn't it be?
Aren't we trespassing?
That's the house your dad grew up in. And that outhouse over there is where he kept Peaches,
Peaches?
his pony.
The one on TV.
Of course, to the rest of us, him riding Peaches to school was an everyday event. But this television producer, whose name was, and no word of a lie, Jock Geldof, wanted all us kids to come out and wave him off. Like it was the rarest thing.
But it definitely happened.
Oh, it was the big news of the year for us kids. And most of us didn't even have a TV in those days. Did he ride in Seattle?
If he did, I never heard about it.
Fantastic, isn't it? The sun setting behind the hill there. I'd get a picture of this if I were you.
Dougie.
If your dad never mentioned his past, then he must have had good reason. Now, it's late.
Then why'd you bring me here? Look, I don't want to make things difficult for you, really. But the swinging, cross-dressing, Fellini-loving cat you describe as being your best buddy just doesn't correlate with the guy I called my dad.
It doesn't?
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. 'Cause Dad's main idea of recreational fun, when he wasn't obsessing about me, was going fishing once a month and shopping at the mall. And don't think I never tried asking him, 'cause I did.
What do you mean, obsessing about you?
I mean, I don't know what I mean.
I think you do know what you mean.
I mean that we were close. Real close, Dad and me. Until I was about 13, 14, and well, things changed. Look, I'd sooner not talk about this, seriously.
Then perhaps we should head back to the car before we lose the rest of the light. It'll be chilly in the dark. I'm grateful to you, Trudy.
Grateful?
And I'm glad he did okay. Our Mal, in America, like. Glad he went and made a successful life for himself. I often wondered. He was as good a friend as I've ever had, was Mal Morgan.
That means a lot, Dougie.
Good.
Dad got this idea that I was in danger.
What kind of danger?
Mom said he used to wake up in the night. He'd wake up screaming. Convinced that I'd been harmed or... And then he'd start showing up at friends' houses, parties. Whole thing got a bit out of control and it kind of drove us apart, I guess. Well, as you'd imagine. We didn't exactly speak to one another for the longest while and then he got sick. Well, you get the picture.
I get the picture.
Mom did her best to hold things together. Go, Mom. I'm here for her too, if that makes any kind of a difference.
Pneumonia.
The doctor said it was one of those things. A freak thing.
What did he do out there?
He owned a trouser factory.
A trouser factory?
Yeah, a trouser factory. It's not that big a deal.
I worked in a trouser factory 23 years. Of course, I didn't own it, but all the same.
That's really quite a coincidence, isn't it?
It was more about bad luck than trouble.
Meaning what exactly?
Well, all things considered, I suppose if you're gonna hear about what it was happened to your dad, it's best you hear it from me.
You're scaring me, Dougie.
It's up to you. Don't have to tell you if you don't want.
I want.
Sang it with style.
Whose round is it?
Well, mine, but...
But what?
Well, don't you think we should go slow?
Don't recall you saying that when we went upstairs.
I thought you were pleased to see me.
I was delighted to see you, pleased as punch. Mwah.
So if you're pleased to see me, how about you tell me where you were this evening?
With Dougie?
With Dougie where?
What does it matter where?
What is this obsession with Dougie, anyway?
It's not an obsession.
Then how would you describe stalking a middle-aged road sweeper?
I told you I had personal issues that I was sorting out, and I'm not stalking him. He's been talking to me, telling me stuff.
What stuff?
Stuff I don't want to talk with you about right now, okay?
Evening, Leon.
Tony.
And this must be the famous Trudy.
Trudy, this is Tony Landers.
Nice to meet you, Tony.
I've heard a lot about you. Molly Vickers can't stop singing your praises. Said she wants to write an article or something.
I thought she'd gone off that idea.
Well, that truly would be a first. Thoughts, Leon. I need thoughts. This year's theme, because we're at a loss.
What about American relations?
Leon.
American relations?
America, then. Gives us plenty of scope.
Certainly gives us that. What do you think, Trudy?
I think I need some air. Excuse me.
Trudy. Dougie!
Afternoon, Leon. Everything all right?
Trudy's left.
What?
She's gone. Packed her bags. Left town.
When was this?
Must have been sometime in the middle of the night, because her room was empty this morning. What happened last night? And don't tell me it was nothing, because I know it weren't.
I took her up to her dad's farm.
Her dad's what?
She didn't mention that then.
No, she didn't mention that, Dougie. Not one word. Not even in passing.
I don't know what you want me to say, Leon. Honestly.
Why did you come here, Trudy? You know why. You know exactly why. And now you know the whole story. So all you have to do is go home. Go home and tell Mom about Dad. And then put it and Kington all behind you. That's the best thing. That's definitely the best thing. What do I do about Leon? Go home, girl. That's the best thing for everyone. Whoa! Go on, boy. Off the path. Shoo! What are you looking at me like that for? All right. All right, boy. I'm going. See? I'm leaving. Straight back the way I came. Hey there.
Trudy, I didn't hear you come in. You all right? Where have you been?
I've been thinking, and, well, maybe you're right, Leon. Maybe it would be good if we talked.
Dougie?
Hello, Molly. Don't happen to have a minute, do you?
If you're genuinely asking me what I think, Dougie, then I think you should be pleased.
You don't think I did wrong?
I think you did as was asked of you. You told Trudy the truth about her family. The rest is up to her.
Trudy's gone. Left town.
Without saying goodbye.
I should have left things just the way they were. Who was I to turn that round and send things into a tiz was? Who?
This fella Mal Morgan was your dad?
Yeah.
The man in the wheelbarrow here? The one in the dress?
Yes.
The man who lived up at Moon Farm?
Yes.
Looks like he's having fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Bit of a looker, too.
Don't be disgusting.
Blonde hair really suits him. And as for his...
If you're not going to take this seriously, Leon...
I thought you'd gone, Trudy. Gone for good.
A pony stopped me.
A pony stopped you doing what?
It's good to see you, Leon.
So what were you and Dougie doing up at Moon Farm? You said it was your dad's.
If I tell you, will you listen? You won't interrupt.
You have my word on it. A pony stopped you.
Now I have to get this right.
Whenever you're ready.
So there we both are. It's dusk. And the place is cold. And kind of creepy. And Dougie says...
You see the farmhouse there? When we were kids, you couldn't see that front door for washing. Ellen, your grandmother Ellen, never seemed to do anything except washing. At least that's how it seemed to me as a kid. She passed away in '64. Cancer. Mal was 11.
And that was the bad luck.
That was the start. Of course, there are those who might say it started even earlier than that, but as far as Mal was concerned, that was the start. Ellen dying. You don't mind if I don't look at you, do you?
Oh, no. Why?
Just makes it easier to tell.
Whatever you need to do, Dougie.
Then in '67, there was an outbreak of foot and mouth. Affected everyone, all the farms and farmers. Bob, your granddad, lost most of his livestock, everything. And here in Kington, what's bad for the farmer is bad for the town. Everyone suffered. He was a powerful man, your granddad, very powerful. Strong, physically strong. Served in Korea, too, decorated. Furthest he'd ever been before he was 17 was Lyons Hall, and bam, he shipped off to the other side of the world. What do you suppose he must have made of that?
I don't know.
He suffered there, I think, Bob, in Korea. Came back a little wild.
Wild? How?
No, that's not important. What's important is that after he lost his animals, he kind of withdrew into himself. But he persevered with the farm, though. Persevered for a good few years until...
Until?
Oh, this is harder than I thought it was going to be.
Take as much time as you need.
We like to think of ourselves as cineasts, me and Mal. We ran this film club over in the barn there. I'd managed to blag this old portable projector from a cinema in Hereford. We'd screen all the big foreign films of the day, anything we could get hold of. Truffaut, Fellini, of course, Bertolucci. Showed them all on that wall there. Mal loved them, really loved them. Me too. Of course, we'd make a thing of it. Drink the best wine we could get hold of. Dress up to suit the film. Oh, it was brilliant. This one night, we were watching Fellini's Casanova with Donald Sutherland as Casanova. He was a big star then, Sutherland, massive. Don't ask me how Mal got hold of it. We were both wearing these wigs, which I'd shaken some talc over, made them seem powdered. Anyway, it's just at the end of the third reel and your dad says he needs a pee. Heads off across the yard here and, well, he's gone an age. And when he finally gets back, there's definitely something up. I don't know how to ask him what's wrong, which is weird, as I normally know how to ask him anything, but it's Mal who speaks first. Just sits on the edge of his old cinema seat and says...
How are we doing with the film there?
Nearly there, Mal, nearly there. You were a while.
What?
You were ages.
Did we bring another bottle of wine up?
On the sill.
The sill? On the sill.
I can't say it's his finest. It's good, but it's not his finest. What do you think?
About?
About Casanova, the film.
Ran into Mrs. Roberts today. She reads the papers, she said. Last tango in Paris. All the filth. Can't understand how Bob puts up with it. Her showing all them dirty films up here.
Well, Mrs. Roberts will have herself a heart attack if she saw this one, won't she?
Oh. Bloody town.
Right. I think we're about ready to go.
It's a good thing, isn't it?
What is?
Your mum, your real mum.
What about my real mum?
Leaving when she did.
Sorry?
Well, she had the right idea, don't you think? Because it weren't all that fair on you, I can see that, but you were just a baby. You never knew her, did you? And you can't exactly miss someone you never actually knew, can you?
What the hell's got into you?
Leaves you on our doorstep and buggers off, makes a new life for herself, gets out, frees herself. He's in the outhouse.
Who's in the outhouse? What are you going on about?
Oh, I don't care much for this wine. No, I don't. It's all acidy. Dad.
Dad?
What does one do at a time like this, Dougie? What does one say?
Stay there and don't move. Mr. Morgan? Mr. Morgan? Oh, no. He'd been gone for hours, the ambulance people said. Hours. Still think about him, Bob. While we were drinking cheap wine in powdered wigs and watching Casanova, he was up there on his own. Suppose the only sense you could make of it was, as far as Bob was concerned, losing his animals was as good as losing himself. What do you think?
I don't know what to think.
Couldn't get a peep out of Mal for hours after. He was in shock, see? And then he was gone. There were those in town who thought he might have gone the same way as old Bob, but not me. I never thought that, not for a single instant. Here's you now, Trudy, putting my mind at ease. Living proof.
Living proof.
Now you can see, I suppose, why your father never chose to speak about it. Some things are difficult, aren't they? Difficult to process. I hope that wasn't too hard for you to hear.
It's what I wanted. Thank you. Mind if I ask you something?
Ask away.
Why did your mother leave you on Bob's doorstep?
Who can say? What I do know is that my foster parents were the best ma and da a person could ever have wanted. Magnificent to me, they were magnificent.
And did you ever know your dad? Your real dad?
It was a different time back then, different attitude. You didn't ask. We should be getting back now.
Were Bob and your foster father in the same unit in Korea?
Sorry?
Did they happen to know each other?
My foster father never went to Korea.
But you said he did.
No?
Yes, this evening, just before we left to come up here, you said your dad had tattoos from when he was in Korea.
Oh. That's another story for another day.
Are we related, Dougie?
Oh, let's go now, shall we?
Dougie!
I'd appreciate if you let this be. Really appreciate it. Now, let's go now, shall we?
Dougie's your uncle.
Yeah.
No wonder you wanted to get drunk.
Leon.
I couldn't stop myself.
How do I tell Mom about this?
Gently.
Have you seen Dougie today?
This afternoon. Trudy?
All came back to me. As I was telling it. Hands were going, everything.
Perhaps it was something you needed to say.
What if I've done some damage? What if I've just gone and caused more trouble?
Only time will tell.
That's not very reassuring.
I don't think there's much I can say to reassure you. Excuse me.
Korea. Stupid. Stupid. Stupid.
Hi, Dougie.
Leon said you left.
pony wouldn't let me.
Eh? What was that for?
You figure it out.
You're a strange girl, Trudy.
Would all contestants in this year's Kington race please get into their wheelbarrows now? Please.
I look ridiculous.
You look great.
I'm never going to live this down, never.
You're not the one wearing the beard.
I look more like Lloyd Grossman.
I think you look kind of sexy, Bald.
Where's your mum?
She's in the crowd somewhere.
Glad you came back for the festival.
I wouldn't have missed it.
I've missed you.
I missed you too.
Really?
You know I have.
I don't like the idea of your mum seeing me dressed this way.
Oh, don't be such a crybaby, Leon. Whose idea was this anyway?
Yours! I wanted to go as someone cool. Jim Morrison or someone. Hendrix.
Who have we here then?
Hey, Dougie.
When did you fly in?
Late last night. My mom's here too. She can't wait to meet you.
Right.
She won't bite, Dougie, I promise.
Who are you supposed to be, Leon?
Fraser Crane.
I thought you were that Lloyd Grossman off the telly.
You see? I told you.
It's our homage to Seattle. I'm Kurt Cobain.
We fixed a date for the memorial service for your dad. Tuesday next. Everyone's coming.
What do you mean everyone's coming?
Funerals and news in Kington.
We love a good funeral here.
Can all participating couples
Good luck now.
please approach the
Look out for my mom.
Come on, Kurt.
Whenever you're ready, Fraser.
I'm ready now.
Tell me something, Dougie.
Anything.
What's with this Dougie or Donald?
Donald's my name in polite society.
And Dougie?
My rebel one.
Will you get back in the barrow, Trudy? It's about to start.
Wish us luck.
Good luck.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they're off!
Whoa.
You sure you're okay in there, Trudy?
Faster, Fraser, faster! Whoa!